Good morning to you. Thank you guys for joining us today on TNT. We are like a minute late, maybe even a minute and a half. And for that, we apologize to you. We did a Windows update last night, so we updated to Windows 11 for security reasons on the desktop. Caused us a couple of technical issues that we tried to work through and cost us just a minute and a half on air here. So for that, we apologize, but we are now up and running and all ready for you today. So thanks for joining us. Today's main topic of the day, I'm going to go with one topic, but kind of try to dive into it and get you out on time, is going to be 3 important mindset changes to becoming a top producer. 3 important mindsets to becoming a top producer. So we'll hit that up just after we take roll call. So everybody, please chat in that you are present and you are here. We're excited to have you here on a Wednesday where we have meetings, right? So today at 10 a.m. is going to be the broker or the agent workshop at 10 a.m. So please be here, be present, and have your camera on. We always like to see people and like to get a lot of collaboration and interaction so we can get things accomplished during this time, okay? And we also try to do some things that are work on your business for Wednesday. So what I want to challenge you with today is, did you work on something for your business last week on Wednesday? And then this week, what's the next thing that you're working on for your business, right? So spend a little bit of time to always be working on the business, not necessarily in the business. There's 2 different items there, and that's an important one. So work on your business today. Before this, we had the 5 minutes where you worked on your social media, so we hope you were able to accomplish that. Agent meetings at 10, and between now and 10, once we get done working on your business for Wednesday today. Omkar, I think we've covered everything, and I think we're ready to start. Let's hit it. Three important mindset changes to becoming a top producer in real estate. We're going to hit number 1, then number 2, and then number 3. These are each different mindsets that are super important to doing well in your career, or well in just any business in general, and real estate specifically. So the first one is going to be to have an entrepreneurial mindset. As an agent, you're an independent contractor. It's not a business that you're an employee. There's not an employee-employer. You're an entrepreneur. You run your sole business as you. So what that means is you have expenses, you have income. You can write these things off to lower your base taxable income, and that's a tax thing. But it's more of a mindset. It's how you look at things, that you're an entrepreneur. And I've always loved that, right? So being an entrepreneur has been a key thing in my adult world. I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to work for myself. I always wanted to be successful, be responsible for taking care of whatever it is. It's a way of doing things. It's not that somebody else is doing something for you and you owe them something. It's that you are the entrepreneur and you ultimately kind of have the success or failure yourself. And through hard work and dedication and innovation and just caring and trying, that you should do well, right? So that is in general the entrepreneur spirit. So does it burn from within in you? And the more that passion is there, the more success you as an agent are going to have. And that's the first item to being successful, is feeling that you're ultimately responsible for yourself, carrying that, but loving it and fully embracing it in whatever that means. One of the items that I've kind of embraced as an entrepreneur, and people think it's a little bit crazy, but I talk about all the time that I don't mind small problems. And in fact, I embrace them and encourage them. Small problems, that my feeling is, when you have a small problem, what it does is it gives you an opportunity to address this as a small issue. Fix it, systematize it, and allow yourself to get better from it and learn from this challenge. But I love them when they're small, because when you have a small challenge, what often happens is, as long as you address it, it doesn't fester and become this huge problem over here, right? As long as you stay on top of it. But what it seems like is small problem, small problem, small problem, small problem. They all start piling on top of each other, right? And when you have a lot of small problems, then all of a sudden what you start to have is a big problem, right? And they all kind of add up and become this. And then you have cracks in your business foundation, then you have a challenge. So I embrace small challenges because I'm not afraid of the word no. The word no is totally fine. It's only got 2 letters in it and it doesn't bother me. So the challenge is, when you hear the word no, is need to learn how to ask the question a little bit differently. So in business, I've always felt like no is totally fine. I just didn't ask the question right, or I didn't try the right process to get past that. So what would happen in that sense, and being an entrepreneur, is I would hit this wall of no. And now I have to find either the way around it, I need to find the way over it. Sometimes it's a way under it. Sometimes you don't need to even do that. Like, why am I asking this question? Maybe I need to ask a different question. So you change the way you go about it and change the process. And I like having those small challenges to avoid the monster ones. And that's my entrepreneurial spirit. I always feel like if there's a challenge, we can get past it. I always feel like small ones better than large ones. And I feel like I have this ability to solve those problems. That's my own personal feeling, right? And that's the entrepreneurial spirit. And it kind of has to come from within, and you feel it and you do it and you live it. When you wake up in the morning, I don't know, maybe there's a difference. Maybe certain people like to be problem solvers. I don't know if I'm traditionally a problem solver. I'd have to think about that. Like, it sounds like I'm just sitting on a couch and at a therapist right now dissecting. But the entrepreneurial spirit is important, and that ultimately leads to your success. So that's the first important item to becoming a top producer in real estate. And just think about that and reflect on where you lie within the entrepreneurial spirit to create. Mindset number 2 is going to be an abundance mindset. So let's kind of unpack this one. Abundance mindset means that there is plenty out there for everybody. And you don't feel that if you have something, that for me to be able to get it, I need to go take it from you. And that is called a scarcity mindset, that there's only so much of this in the world. So scarcity versus abundance mindset. The abundance mindset says, you have it, I'm proud for you, and I'm happy for you. And if you did it, then I can also do it, and maybe I feel that I can do it even better. Kind of going back to the entrepreneurial spirit and like that, just that mindset and the burn from within. So if you did it, well, surely I can do it as well, right? Like, you showed me the way, you gave me the blueprint. So now I can take what you did and learn from it, try to get better and succeed from it. And abundance says, very glad for you, and I'm going to do that as well. And you don't harbor any ill feelings, but rather you're inspired by that other person with the abundance, right? And you don't feel that there's competition, but maybe cooperation or cooperation, where you are all working together to do better. And that's the type of thing that we want to foster here, is an abundance mindset for sure, and where we all work collaboratively to be able to grow what we're working on. And if somebody has a listing, it doesn't mean you don't have that listing because they have it. But what it means is they're showing you how to go get that listing. What was the successful method that they used to employ to go get it? And, that's the type of thing that abundance will do for you. And it's a mindset. It's like glass half full, glass half empty, and where they come together. And where do you fall on the spectrum? And if you realize that you fall more into a scarcity mindset than an abundance mindset, then you have to kind of analyze that a little bit. And to be more successful, you have to kind of look at that. There's a lot of things that go into this. It could be your, your personal feelings on kind of like religion, your feelings on what society gives you. It's kind of like political opinions. Do you feel like somebody should be doing something for you? Do you feel like you should be taking care of it yourself? It's all kind of rolled together here in this one item of an abundance mindset. So consider that one here and see what you get from it. And then the third item to be highly successful is going to have a purpose-driven mindset. Purpose-driven mindset. So if we're looking at that, what you want to do is be waking up and you want to be doing things with a purpose and have a reason for what you're currently doing. Not just because you always did it, but rather find out what that purpose behind it is and what I'm trying to accomplish. And am I making these 10 phone calls right now and with an expected outcome? But am I calling the right 10 people? And should I be asking a different question? Should I be trying to have a different purpose? Is my purpose really, think about this one. Has anybody in the last 5 years closed a client where you didn't have their email address? So think all the way back through. And is there anybody that you as an agent closed and got paid on a transaction all the way through where you're the primary agent and you did not have their email address, right? So if you think through that and you're like, well, maybe one or whatever, but like statistically, you need an email address to be able to close this person. And that's one of the items. So one of your first purposes should be to get the name and the email address of all these different people and the full name, right? Like the proper spelling, first and last name, husband and wife. And it's really weird when you look at it. No, I've never closed a client without a name, without a phone number, without an email address, without their spouse's name, because they need to be on the title work as well, right? So those are a couple of core pieces of information that you can't get to closing and you can't get paid without. So if you really look at it, the purpose in the beginning is to get those people into your CRM to start with. So the purpose every day is to add people and add more clients that you can be working with, put more friends in that you can nurture, put them on a search, right? How many clients have you closed that you don't have a search for? How many listings did you ever get that you didn't have a listing presentation for beforehand? And then start looking at them backwards. And then have that purpose to slide yourself to be like, actually, that's the key action that I need to do. If I want to close more business, I ironically need more names, email addresses, and phone numbers inside the database where I have saved searches or I have listing presentations for that I give a person a value or I discuss what they want, need, and care about in a property. That I really discuss with them what this happens to be. So be purposeful in what you're doing every day and have a mission and a mindset on where to go. That's called a purpose-driven mindset. Number 2 is an abundance mindset. And last but not most important is the entrepreneurial spirit. Those are the 3 different mindsets of top producers. We're done. Reminder, meeting at 10 o'clock, Zoom meeting with Mike.com. Go ahead and log in there, and we will see you at 10 o'clock. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. I hope you took something away from that. It was a slightly different approach on what we do here each morning, and I just kind of dove within that same topic, but drill down into 3 subtopics within it. But just think, reflect, and go ahead and do. Thank you guys very much. See you at 10. Perfect. Thank you, Omkar. Let Let me turn this microphone off.